What's going on, YouTube? Trucking with Pastor T, back at it again. Today I wanted to just touch on something real quick, maybe give some tips about the Freightliner Cascadia. I do drive a 2015 Freightliner Freight Shaker Cascadia. It's been a great truck. But anyway, I've had some issues with my stereo not staying on, and then also with this speaker turning on and off as if it's got a short. So if you're wondering how to get to your door speakers, there's four bolts, 4 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, and they do take a Torx bit to remove those, and it takes, I don't know if you guys can see it, but it takes a T30 it takes a T30 anyway, it takes a T30 Torx to remove these 4 screws, and those screws are to the actual handle itself. Okay, so it takes 4 of those. Then here, to take the cover off, you're gonna need a flathead screwdriver or something similar. And this cover, it's got those 2 clips here, one here and one there. And once you press these and release them, then this cover slides right off. Pretty simple, right? Pretty simple. Easy stuff. You know, you should be able to do this with all the stuff that you have in your little toolkit that you have in your truck. Pretty much everything in this truck takes a Torx bit, so you should have a set of those with a ratchet already in your toolbox, along with some pliers, crescent, needle nose pliers, vice grips, hammer, whatever, right? Tape. So anyway, then you have 4 more Torx bit here to actually remove the speaker. And I'm not going to remove it again. I just want to show you guys that. And that takes a T15 Torx. So you remove these, and once you remove this whole door speaker will come out. And on the back side of this speaker, there is a quick connect or quick disconnect that allows you to simply disconnect this speaker from the factory wiring harness, without having to do any cutting, splicing, or anything to the factory wiring system, which I think is great. So if you wanted to replace this, you could just go to the dealership, buy another, it's Panasonic, buy another one, and plug it right back up. Now, if you wanted to go aftermarket or anything like that, I do not know offhand if you could buy it with the quick disconnect. But I do believe that the pigtail to the disconnect can be taken off, and you can refit it to whatever wires you have. Or if you're handy, you could solder them together, get you some water resistant connectors to put over it, and seal it back up, stick it back in there, good to go, right? So that's that. Now, here is the head unit itself. The issues that I was having with this is that while powered up, I would lose all sound from my speakers. Every speaker, not just that one, but every speaker I would lose sound. But I would never lose power to this head unit. And I'm pushing all kind of buttons here. So
we'll take a look at.
Let me just turn it off. I would never lose power. It would always stay lit. It would never say see you later. It would never come back on and say welcome. And so this would happen very frequent. And so it would be anywhere from a couple seconds to a couple minutes to maybe even an hour. And then most recently, it's been off for probably a month or two. And it will come on for maybe a couple seconds and right back off. So instead of messing with it, what I did, I just went to Walmart and bought this little speaker here. And I've been using that and it works great. But today I had time, and what I did is I took this thing out and I wanted to look at it, and I wanted to check the wiring in the back, which everything seems to be fine. Although even with this pulled out and checking the wires, the as you just heard, the unit did come back on and it does have sound now, but it's still shorting out somewhere. So somewhere in here there's some wires, maybe even a ground. I know that the Freightliner is known for having horrible grounds, and it's highly recommended by a lot of people that, you know, when you get your truck, that you go through, find all your grounds, and you sand them down, prep them, put them back, and then coat them with a sealant. I haven't done that. I don't plan on doing it. So if what I've done today with this doesn't work, like I said, I'll just keep using this little speaker here. It's been great. It puts out enough sound for what I need. And, you know, I just charge it. I just plug it right here to my USB. Keeps it charged all day. Like I said, I never lose power to this. I just lose my sound. So, but anyway, let me show you how to take this out if you don't know. What I did, I just simply went to AutoZone and I bought this. It says it's for Ford, and it's removal tools for your stereo head units, right? And it comes with both sides, as you see there. There's two things there, right? So I went and I bought these, and initially I thought, man, it's not going to work because it doesn't fit. It's too wide to fit the hose. As you can see, there's two holes on either side of this head unit, and as you can see, this is clearly too wide. But I said, well, it's got to be flexible, right? So, you know what I did, I was able to compress it enough to cause it to fit. Now, to get this to work, what you have to do is, while this is still completely inside the dash, you see if I can do this with one hand. You put this in there. If you come over here to the side, you can see that there's hardware here. There's a bracket, and on this bracket there's little clips. Let's see, let me take it out. Maybe you can see it better. There you go. There's two little clips there, and when inserted into this mount, those clips will release and they will grab, hold, they will hook. Basically they will hook around so you can't pull it out. So when you put this tool in, it releases it so you can then pull it out. So anyway, so once you got this in there, all you do is press it until you run this tool over those clips to depress them so that you can in turn pull this head unit out. Once you get it out, you know, you can remove these tools, and that's it. So that's how you remove that. So I did that, played with the wires, but you know, I don't plan on doing anything drastic because I have my other speaker here that I can use. But you know, it did start working. So if I wanted to, I could trace the wires. I could, you know, take the wire that's run from the ignition that allows this thing to turn on with the ignition. I could take that and run it straight to, but again, I'm never losing power, so I don't see a point in doing that. I could take it and trace, you know, back to my speakers and see if there's something in the speakers, but again, I have other means of listening to my music, so I don't see myself doing that. If it ever comes to it,
then yes, maybe I will. But anyway, I just wanted to show you guys what it takes to do it. It's really not hard. Like I say, that tool was about $9 at the local AutoZone. If you're military, you get a 10% discount, and so you put the other one in, and then you just pull it out, right? Easy enough. So I have not actually found a true solution, but if you're trying to figure out what you can do, and if you're one who doesn't mind tracing wires and using multimeters and stuff, then that's what you do. You just use the tool, pull it out, then you can trace your wires to wherever. You can check the connector in the back to make sure you have constant power to it. Make sure you're not losing power from the head unit side and or from the wiring harness itself, which is drawing power from the truck, right? So that's that. Now, another issue that I had is that in the back of my tractor, my lights went off and my switches stopped working. So I figured it had to have been a fuse. So if you're wondering, where are my fuses? You know, I've been messing with this truck, but I don't know where my fuses are. Well, Pastor T, I'm here to show you where your fuses are. So I played with this thing last night. There's 4 Torx bits, screws in this glove box. 1 in each corner. Take those out and simply pull your whole glove compartment out of the dash. Once you do that, you're going to see a black piece of plastic, and you may see some wires hanging. Remove that rain guard. Underneath your dash is a rain guard or a water guard or whatever you want to call it. Remove that plate, and underneath that plastic plate is where your fuse panel is, and then you'll have access to your fuses. Now, they do have that plate there to help in the event that you have a water leak or build up a condensation from your AC vents, so that you don't have water and moisture get into your fuses, causing corrosion and shorts and so forth. And then also what Freightliner did is, on top of your dash, once you pull it out, you'll find a diagram to your fuses, so you know which position each fuse is located in, F1 through F40, whatever it is, and also which accessory that fuse is related to. And then it also has your relays. So that's that. It's real easy. You know, you could do it with the right tools. Like I said, everything in this truck takes Torx bits. So get you a set of Torx bits, a ratchet, or whatever. But with the right tools, you can have this thing off and track down your fuse within 10 to 15 minutes max. I mean, you could probably do it within 8 minutes, you know. So that's that. What I would suggest, though, because it is a little bit tight, is to get you some fuses that has the red light indicator that lets you know if the fuse is still good or if it's bad. You know, as long as it's good and it's got a full closed circuit, then it'll be red. Once that circuit is broken and the fuse is open, then the light will go out. So I do believe I'm going to change out all of my fuses for those types of fuses. And also remember, guys, it's DOT to have some fuses in your truck. So anyway, I checked all my fuses and they were all good. The ones that pertain to my sleeper, my bunk, and my lights. So I said, well, how do I fix my lights? They're still not working. So I'm going to show you guys right now what I did. I'm going to try to. It's dark. Try to show you guys what I did to fix that. I'm going to put my rain jacket back up. It was raining in Houston yesterday. So this is what I'm talking about. This panel right here. So what it was is, this light was not working. It was not working. And also, I could not use this switch to turn on my dome lights, which clearly it's working, which I am going to change to LED also.
So this is real easy. You can do this with one hand, but a lot of times what happens is here is an AC vent for your sleeper. As you're riding down the road or whatever, or you're idled, it builds up condensation, and condensation can drip down into your switches and cause you to have a bad connection. Don't think that that was my issue. Could have been, but I don't think so. Microwave, but you can see the tubing for that. So on either side of these switches, there's clips. The actual mounting bracket is independently put in there, so they're clips. So you pull those out. I don't know if you can see that. Pull that, and I'm doing this with one hand, by the way. That's how easy it is. You pull those out. There you go. See, one hand. Pull those out, and that works the same for both. Pull it out. Pull it out. Right. So after that, you take and you remove this switch panel from the wall. Again, guys, very easy. One hand. You don't have to be a super mechanic or a super electrician to do this work. Easy. And I figured this all out last night. So what you're going to find is that, well, first, this switch here, which I may disconnect because that could be part of my issue to my stereo, because this gray switch is your mute for your speakers back here. If you have someone in the sleeper while you're driving, they can mute the sound in the back. So I may remove that to see if that will help my issue with my head unit. Anyway, so you have this guy right here, and I forget exactly what it's called, but all it does is it syncs your top switch panel to your bottom switch panel. And initially, this was over on the right side. This was over here. And then there's one for the top. There's another one in there. Because there's 4 of them. Crap. Well, it's falling down in there now. But all I did is I just changed the connecting points of these wires, and then by doing so, it turned my switches back on. So if you have a problem with these switches, the main point that I wanted to show you is that it doesn't take much to try to troubleshoot this. Just simply pull them out and dry them out. If there's any moisture, dry them out, or change the connecting points and see if that'll cause them to work. That's if all of your fuses are good. So I appreciate you guys. I know this video is kind of long. If you found something that was useful to you, go ahead and hit the like button. Consider subscribing to this channel. This week coming up, I do plan on having some exercise videos, and I'll go into detail about that. But I've gained probably 45 pounds, 2.5, 3 years. So just sitting in the truck, and I am local, but just sitting in the truck 10 to 12 hours a day. So that will be coming next week. So stay tuned for that. But again, if this was helpful to you, or if you need me to go into further detail about any of these steps, let me know, and I will. If you need me to come back and actually take the speaker out, or take the dashboard, the glove box out, or actually show you the actual wire and how it was before it fell in there, I can do that, no problem. But I believe we're all capable, just with this brief explanation, to figure out, how to switch the wires or whatever. So thank you all for tuning in. Thanks for rocking with me. Pastor T out.